This is Helena, and I'm here with my friend Anya Grace today. Welcome, Anya.
Thank you.
I never know how to do these introductions. It's always so awkward. Anyway, we are just waiting for people to join. Welcome to our live stream on how to activate a man's masculine potential. This is something we've been getting asked about a lot. Hi, Aurora. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, Catherine. So good to see you guys. It's working. This is
awesome.
This is take 2 as usual. We were having some technical difficulties with the first one. So we're so happy to have all you guys here, and we have 7 steps for you. We're going to try and keep this live stream short if we can, because we have somewhere to be right after this. But 7 steps to activate a man's masculine potential. And Anya, you guys all know and love Anya, right? She is just an expert on this topic. So we're so excited to get started. Oh, we're excited too.
Matt.
Oh, yay. Matt's watching. Oh my gosh.
Katarina, Beverly,
Tiffany, Robbie, Sarah. Oh my gosh, awesome. Okay, so let's just jump right in because we are a little bit short on time. I'll just let you go for the first step. Is that good?
Yeah. So I was actually speaking on stage a couple weeks ago, and one of the questions from the audience, this was a women's panel, and one of the questions was, why do men have such a hard time asking for support and asking for help when perhaps they need to ask for help? And I think it's amazing and really powerful when a man can learn how to know that it's okay if he needs help. But it's also really beautiful for us all to understand that the masculine energy in a man feels his power when he is in the lead. So the first step, the first way that we can really activate a man's masculine potential is to see him in his greatness for all the masculine gifts that he gives. So some of these gifts that we've written down are this ability to lead and this ability to have guidance. So Matt says we have such a tendency to lone wolf. Yeah. And so why do you think that is, Matt, though? Like, I know you know this all, but and what I'll say to this, and I want to hear what you have as well, is it's actually part of their power to be out in the front, singular, individual, really taking it on, like head first, and being the one to take the first hit and figure it out and be the one in the lead. So asking for directions is really harder. It's much harder for the man because they want to be they want to be the one having the direction. So it's actually a really beautiful gift. So one of the ways that we can activate a man's masculine potential is to see these great gifts in him, to understand the divine, I like to call it the divine masculine qualities, because when we have that understanding of his power, his masculine power, we can literally just see it before he's even doing it, or acknowledge him for when he is stepping up into that power. And when a man feels acknowledged, and that's a little bit later, he will feel love for who he truly is. So it's really about seeing him in his greatness, seeing him for his ability to take leadership, have that honorable ability to offer his gifts to the world with integrity. And so what do you have to say on this?
Yeah, I'm loving all these comments. Every time we're looking over here, we're just reading the comments. Aurora said they want to show that they're capable of fulfilling your need. That is so true. I was just writing an email this morning about that very topic. Yeah, they pride themselves on, I've heard the term production junkies for some men. They feel good when their producing energy is being thoroughly used up. Like for some men, it's just insatiable, kind of like the more masculine energy they are. And we were actually talking about this yesterday. It just occurred to me how certain men who are really successful have this thing that comes across like it's kind of like their way or the highway. I don't know if I'm saying that phrase correctly, but it is this lone wolf kind of thing. But if you can see a man in his greatness, for his potential, you become like irreplaceable to him. It's like seeing him for who he really is. I've heard Anya say before, being able to really see his soul. And he gets this sense that you really feel connected to him. You really get him as a man and as a human being. So powerful. And men, especially if he's the right man for you, he will want to rise up to that potential. One thing I did want to mention is it's not about like betting on his potential, right? That's something I always say. You know, you don't want to like fall in love with a man for his potential and then just kind of wait around forever. I can't tell you how many women I hear from every week, literally, who are just kind of like, well, it would be so great if he could be the man that I know he is deep down. So it's one thing to see him for his potential, but you also want to watch his actions and what he's doing right now in this moment, and sort of gauge things that way. Am I saying that right?
Exactly. Like we were talking about the other day, really what we're doing when we're elevating to this new level as individuals, as women, this elevated woman archetype that I talk about all the time, that it's really not about changing somebody. It's about watching to see if they can rise up to your level.
Yes.
And holding the bar high, not saying you're not worth it, like you're less than me, but just holding this sense of self-worth that they either can match you there, or that's not somebody that you're really going to spend your time with because you're so valuable. And I think we were talking just today about how like it's what I don't want to say training a man, but when we're holding this bar high, basically what we're doing is watching to see if that man can hold a steadiness and create a structure and a capacity for you to feel safe. If he is texting you every day, if he calls you every day, if he is consistent and steady and you don't have to feel or wonder, is he going to reach out to me? Like, I don't feel safe. Like, I wonder if he's interested in me. That's not a safe container. That's not a stable ground for you to be able to open on. So at the beginning stages of a relationship and when we're dating, it's really important to watch and really allow yourself to witness that person show up for you. And if they show up for you consistently, then you can start to open your heart. Then you can start, you should always have an open heart, but then you can start to share yourself at a deeper level. Then you can really invite that person into you emotionally and even physically once they've shown you that the container that they can create is safe and steady. The job of the masculine energy is to create safety and structure so that the feminine energy can open and blossom and bloom and shine. So our job as women, especially in this conversation of activating a man's masculine potential, is to wait to gift our energy and to wait to gift ourselves to that person until they really step up and show that they can handle it and that they are willing to, and they see our value at that level.
Amazing. I love that. I'm like getting lost in the comments over here as usual. Yes. Thank you guys so much. Aurora says, look for his good motives. We love everything you guys are saying. Steve, Jessica, Deanna, everyone. Deanna says, just want to thank you guys. I have grown so much in the last year listening to these videos in a healthy relationship for the first time in so long. Amazing. Amazing. Should we go on to number 2? We're already halfway through the time and we're still on the first step. So number 2 is lead with your heart. And I talk so much about this, right? The way to connect to a man's heart is always through your own heart first. It is just the only way. If you are up in your head strategizing, trying to create some connection or figure out how to, it's a little counter-logical because we're, trying to figure a man out or like figure out how to make him step up in the relationship. That's a question I get all the time. You're kind of coming from the wrong place. You're coming from your head or your masculine energy, where we would really encourage you to lead with your heart. So Anya, I'd love to hear what you have to say about how this relates to a man's masculine potential.
Yeah, well, let's address just our value as women. So
I totally agree, Matt. He says men aren't so hard to figure out. I totally agree. Pretty simple. Oh, I said that right as he typed it in. Yeah, very simple. They kind of do what they want to do all the time, right? If they want to call you, they call you. They kind of do it. They're much more simpler. We can talk ourselves into and out of doing things, wanting to do things. Men are pretty straightforward. So I totally agree with that.
Yeah, and the simplicity is part of their power. Like that's something that I think there's that conversation that men are simple and women are so complex, but it's like, okay, well, the simplicity of the male energy is so powerful. and the complexity of the female energy is so powerful. They're both very, very powerful. So it's just really learning how to honor both sides as equal expressions of power and value, and honor both sides, not just honor one and not just honor the other. So when we lead with our heart, we are really knowing that our heart energy is our value and our gift as women. So we're not gifting ourselves like we can be owned, but we are knowing that within our presence, we are a gift. That when we are around somebody, no matter where we are, if we're around children or friends or family or a guy, that just in our presence, we are sharing ourselves. We're sharing our soul, we're sharing our energy, we're sharing our heart. Hopefully we're sharing our vulnerable emotions, and we are just, our presence is a gift. Every single human being is gifting the world with their presence. And so if you continue to attract relationships that are not honoring of you, that can really quickly change the more you start to see your value as an individual. This goes for both men and women. So leading with the heart means that you are open to being vulnerable, and that every single time you share your feelings, you share your truth, you're inviting somebody in to experience the depth of who you are. Mm-hmm. And then our relationships that they move from being superficial to deep soul level relationships.
Oh yeah, that's so true. That's so true. You guys, thank you so much for the comments. Tiffany said, love you ladies. Your advice has helped me in my current relationship. He's magnetically attracted to me. Amazing. Yes, that's exactly how it works. Everything Anya's saying is exactly how it works. Leaning back into my feminine energy is so powerful. Knowing I'm a gift to him is such an incredible way to become a high value woman. I totally agree. Sharon says she loves the simplicity of what you said, that simplicity of a man is his power. I agree. I love that in a masculine man. Yeah, so do we. Absolutely. Absolutely. She says it gives me space to be complex. I love that. It's like the container. It's like that ocean floor analogy that Anya says. It's a safe container where then the ocean can, do its thing, right? It can do its thing. Amazing. Okay, so number 3. Do you mind if we move on?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I get through everything.
I want to say something really quick about that. So let's go. We'll skip to this one because it goes into. So number 3 is be free. Like be dynamic and allow yourself to be unapologetic about that complexity. We have shame as women around our emotions and our feelings. But that's because our society has undervalued the heart and feeling, and overvalued, in a sense, reason and the mind, and like more of that mental body. So we're at a place in the world where we are revaluing the heart energy. So the heart energy is movement. It's not just stagnant. It's not piercing. It's not just focus. There's a lot of movement. So that complexity is such a beautiful part of your power as a woman, and it is something that the male energy in men values so much. I was talking to one of my friends the other day and her husband was there, and there's another woman who was there, and we were talking about these energies, and she was saying that she is kind of more in that rigid warrior archetype, like super connected to her masculine energy, super successful, and just can't attract a guy who is at her level. And so, and really fearing that she wouldn't be able to find somebody who could handle her. Those were the exact words. Oh, wow. So like when I hear that, like handling is actually part of the power of masculine. Like a man's hands are a big part of his power. He builds things, he creates things with his hands. He uses his tools and the sword with his hands. So handling a situation, or working with a woman is such a gift to the masculine power. And when we were talking to this woman, I asked my friend's husband, like, what is it like to experience her emotions from day to day? What is that experience for you? Do you like what is that like? And basically what he said, and I knew he would say this, is that without her, his world is really black and white. Like he calls her his little fire or his little flame or something like that, that her dynamic energy, her emotions that are fluctuating and all over the place and that's something that colors his world and colors his life. So, and maybe Matt can hop in here. But
I love what you said. I just have to jump in and say, I was watching your first call for the level 2 training. Yeah. By the way, for everybody watching, Anya did this amazing call. I'm sure so many of you were part of her level 1 feminine energy activation, which was so phenomenal. The feedback on it has just been like, hundreds of emails literally of people saying it changed their life. So she's doing level 2 now, and she's done the first call for level 2, and you can get that for free. As soon as we finish this, we will post a link to that. But in that call, because I was watching it, I get so much out of these. You were talking about how a man's life can be kind of like boring without that feminine energy, right? Without that free, dynamic, unapologetic energy that a woman brings when she's in her feminine energy, leading with her heart, acknowledging his potential, everything we're talking about here. So I love that.
Yeah. And that's like what we were talking about the other day around why we've been programmed as women to think that there's a scarcity of good men. And what that comes from is feeling like we're not as needed or valued, and that we need to prove ourselves to be worthy of a high power, highly, of a good man, which is so the opposite, because that when we think in that way, we don't understand. Yes, Steve, I love that. So when we think in that way, we're not really centered in our value as women, and we don't recognize how just in our simple presence, just in our touch, just in our voice, just every single thing that we do in the presence of man is a gift. Everything we do. And when we start to think of it that way, then the scarcity goes away, because it's like, okay, well, everywhere I go, I'm bringing value, Does that make sense at all?
Yeah, okay. I love that. Absolutely. Yes. Watching you at 3 a.m. in Germany. Is it a good idea to keep teasing a man or counterproductive to his masculine potential? Matt says, I can't. My eyesight is. It's so.
I think so tiny. We rate good gentlemen have a name, manicorns. I think he means that. So unicorn, Matt. We know Matt. So unicorns are like this. Unicorns are basically the feminine energy, fully rare, good gentlemen equal manicorns, the male version of a unicorn. Okay, beautiful. I love it. So like a unicorn is kind of like a woman who has fully unleashed herself, who's fully allowed herself to be in touch with her wild emotions, her raw heart, her energy. And when she becomes a unicorn, she becomes distinct. She's like this individual star in the universe. There's no way for anybody to even come close to her, because she's so distinct and unique. And then that level of understanding yourself and valuing yourself at this high level will attract a manicorn, like the male counterpart. And that's basically high value soulmate love.
I love that. And that's what her level 2 is all about. The level 1 was activating this divine feminine energy within yourself. Level 2 is taking it a step further to call in that soulmate relationship, right? Whether you are single or already with a man. And to answer your question, so is teasing a man counterproductive to his masculine potential? I don't know why this keeps disappearing. What would you say to that? Yeah, I think everything's just, from my perspective, everything just depends on where you're coming from. Are you coming from a place where you're connecting and he seems to like it and you're having fun and laughing and it's lighthearted? Or are you trying to make something happen, right? You can always ask yourself that. What am I hoping will happen? Mm-hmm. So,
and watching his response. Like if he feels, if you notice him kind of get quiet or shut down a little bit, like mostly it might be touching his heart in a way that doesn't actually feel good. And he might not know how to like voice that and want to, express his strength in front of you. But at a certain level, if it's demeaning in some way, it might really hurt. Like men are used to like locker room talk.
I was just going to say that's kind of how men kind of banter and connect with each other. So I would encourage you just to try this and see what happens. Try something a little bit different.
Yeah, let him make fun of you. Let him tease you, but in a good, if it feels good to be teased, like I love being teased.
I love that. It's because when it comes from a really loving place where they feel like endeared to you, I really like that. But sometimes it doesn't translate the same way to a man.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to the next one too. So.
And I want to talk about the training a little bit from my perspective too. So next one is acknowledge him. Do you want to start with this?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I always say acknowledgement and appreciation are like the fuel that men run on, masculine energy men. So in terms of activating his masculine potential, you want to acknowledge what he's already doing that makes you feel good. It's kind of just as simple as that. This one is more self-explanatory than the others. But what is he doing that's making you feel good? I hear from so many women, and they email me, like my clients will email me kind of this long list sort of complaining about a guy and like, here are all the things I want to change in my relationship, which makes sense because that's why they're coming to us for advice or help. And what you want to do is look for the ways that he is making you happy. It's that positive reinforcement, and acknowledge him. That's what will really inspire him to step up and show up very powerfully for you in the relationship. That's what inspires his masculine potential. Sorry, I'm totally losing my voice today, which is why I'm not talking as much. But yeah, that's what I have to say about acknowledgement.
I love that. And I actually did some research on this one. And what I learned is that by asking some men in my life, and what they said is that when they are acknowledged, they feel, and if any guys on here watching, you can express how it really makes you feel. When they feel acknowledged, they feel seen and understood for all the hard work they're putting in every day. And I literally asked one of my past partners this question, and he said, it makes me feel, it literally makes me feel seen. Like, it makes me feel understood for all the hard work I'm putting in every single day. Like, that male energy is going out into the external world, working and doing and building to create a kingdom, their own kingdom, to become the king of their own kingdom, and have something to show for all the hard work that they're doing. And then that's where they experience their power. So when we can just acknowledge them for how they're showing up for us, and how it makes us feel. Like, when, it's like I've said to partners in the past, like, when you call me every day that way, it literally makes me feel so safe. Like, I know you're going to call me in the morning. I know I don't doubt it. Like, I just expect it. And it allows me to feel so safe in our relationship. I just wanted to say thank you for doing that. Like, I haven't experienced that before in the past, and when they hear that, it verifies what probably the self-work that they've done to get to that point of being that strong, stable container for you. But it also encourages them to keep it up. And yeah.
I was going to say they watch your reaction. Often men watch your reaction and gauge their next step based on that. If they truly care and they want to make you feel good and make you happy, right?
Yeah, I love that. So beautiful. And the next one we have is sit back and receive powerfully. And I just at first had sit back and receive, but then we don't really consider receiving as a powerful action because it's not really an action, but it is an action at the same time. Like, to receive, it's not about doing, but it's still something that happens, and it's very powerful. Like, if you actually allow yourself to receive all of the love and the support that's in your life, you will elevate your life. Your life will be elevated so much more quickly, and your world will reflect your power, if that makes sense. So why don't you start on this?
Yeah, I love that. I always talk about, receiving is a very feminine energy quality, both in relationships and just in life too. And we'll definitely do more videos on that as well, getting into the receptive mode. And something I always say is that masculine energy men fall in love when they are giving to us and you're demonstrating that you can receive from them. They would just kill to be with a woman who's able to receive what he has to give. So, of course, giving back to a man is great when you're coming from this place where you're just like overflowing with feminine joy and everything like that, because you feel so good after receiving what he has to give. So a lot of women think that what men really want is a woman who's like giving and nurturing and just takes care of his every need all the time. And that really couldn't be further from the truth. I've found, right?
I was like watching that dynamic in a party the other day. Just like I was kind of just watching this dynamic with a couple, and I was really watching the girl just kind of do everything for him and like bring him food, and it was like he could pay less attention to her, and it was kind of breaking my heart because I could just feel into that. And it doesn't have to be like that, like part of our intention in sharing this specific talk is to remind you And so the level 2 training, I'll just talk a little bit about that. My intention in the level 2 training is to really give you the imprint of what's possible in love relationship, because we can learn about all these qualities and these tips and these tricks, but until we actually know what it would feel like in our physical, energetic body, it's hard to attract that into our lives. So the level 1 training was all about like, okay, what does the divine feminine energy feel like? Like when I'm wild and free and connected to nature, and then what does it feel like when it's more pristine and elevated and elegant? And what does it feel like when it's raw and vulnerable and open and sincere? Like there's all these different beautiful qualities that we can shine as women that are equally valuable. So it's really about learning how to work with all of those energies and have them activated within us. And so then the level 2 is, all right, so now that I have these energies activated within me, now I can attract truly divine masculine men, or a divine counterpart, a lover, a partner, a boyfriend or husband that matches me at this elevated level. And I know what it feels like to experience. I know what it feels like to really feel supported. I know what it feels like to really feel seen. I know what it feels like to actually feel safe in a relationship and to trust that person so much that I can let go and surrender and open myself, because all men really want is to experience us open, ecstatic, completely surrendered to not just them, but to our higher, like to our beauty, to our inner beauty. Because when we are open to that, they can experience the world through us in a way that they can never do on their own. So that
is so true. Isn't this powerful? You got like the world just like needs this information. It's so true. Yeah, I always say that we as women are connected to ourselves and to others, to the universe, in a way that men can only get connected to through us. And I know that's a kind of a strong statement, but I've certainly found that to be true when you're coming from this super empowered place. Tiffany said she was belly laughing, watching TV, not checking my phone. Then my boyfriend texts me asking, how is his beautiful girlfriend?
Aww.
Lean back is the motto. Yes, that's exactly what we're talking about. I love that. We should probably move on.
Okay,
to the
there
next
was
one
one comment earlier about, can you magnetize a man when he's not around? And the answer is absolutely yes.
Yes. And that, Tiffany, that's a great example. Yeah. Perfect example of that. Yeah.
Like if you just started dating a guy, let's say, or you've been on a couple of dates and he hasn't, you were texting and he doesn't text, you're like, you need to lean back and not text him, but you're like still thinking about him all the time. It's like when you're still thinking about him, you're still kind of pulling on his energy.
Yeah.
So it's like leaning back means just like do enough things to distract yourself so you're not thinking about it. Like obviously we don't have full control over that, but allow yourself to release him on a mental, energetic level. And once you do that, he will legitimately feel that like across the United States and feel when you have completely detached yourself on an energetic, mental, and emotional level. You may still have feelings for him or want things to go farther, but you're not attached. And when he feels that you're not attached, then he'll lean in. It's almost instantaneous. Sometimes it literally is instantaneous.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we've all experienced that so many times. That's why I'm laughing over here. Yeah, it's like that pathway between the two of you is free of resistance. It feels like magic, but it really is amazing.
That's an acknowledgement is valuable.
Absolutely. So good. So good. So yeah, it is really important. A lot of women ask us that. A lot of women I hear from think they're leaning back, but they're actually leaning forward mentally and emotionally, right? By constantly obsessing about a guy who's not right in front of her. So
yeah. And lastly, this power, like when we receive, it's us being in our, we talk to a lot of women who they want to be connected to their feminine power. And part of being connected to your feminine power doesn't mean that you're powerful in a masculine way. It means that you know how to receive, and that act of actually receiving support and love and acts of service for you, and somebody getting up off the couch and getting the water and bringing it to you, that's powerful. Like when you can demand that from your heart, like you are leaning back and emitting love and generosity, and you are this. when you're literally abundance, like you're the abundance of love, and you're generating that from your heart, the whole world will orient to serve you. Helena is literally the master of this. Really? She like goes out into the world, and the whole world like orients toward Helena, and like just gives and gives and gives, because that's what you're emitting.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Right? Yeah, it's pretty amazing. We would say all the interesting stuff happens like after these live streams. Like we wish we could like take all you guys with us. It's like so amazing how this works in the real world. Someone says I was doing everything wrong. Like, no joke, your videos have been a saving grace. Oh yeah, I mean we've all been there. We've all been there. Yeah.
Oh, that says the right divine feminine influence can evoke and elevate a man from a prince to a king. Yeah.
I agree. I totally agree. Okay, should we move on to, are we on 6?
Yeah.
Number 6.
Okay. Well, we're on 6. Oh, yeah, we are on 6. Okay. So 6 is unconditional love. And what this means is when you get to the point of loving yourself, Jacqueline! We were just with Jacqueline all weekend too. So fun. All right. So you guys should check out Jacqueline's channel.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Action Jacqueline. If you guys are into yoga, she's like amazing.
Yeah.
You should get her on here.
Totally. Sure. So yoga, meditation have been literally what healed me in my life. And yoga, because the step number 6, unconditional love, like when we love ourselves at a deep level, we actually can love other people. If we're insecure at a deep level, then we project those insecurities onto other people, and we're trying to heal, but we can't really always heal. Like we'll just keep getting triggered by external relationships rather than, having relationships that elevate us. They can kind of be more damaging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's an honor as a man to watch his woman receive the gifts and actions, which is the truest expression of their love. Oh, that is so great. It's so great to like hear that from a man, like just get that immediate. You guys are so awesome. Dana's asking, when are you doing the level 2 training? The first call is already done. It's free. As soon as we finish this, I'm going to post a link in the description right below.
Probably matter Jacqueline posted.
Yeah, to sign up, and the first one's free. The next one, when's the next call for that? The 12th?
Yeah, so a week from today we'll begin the next call, which is the activation of the queen and the king energy. So how to activate the queen archetype within you, and what it feels like to really have that archetype of the king as your lover, as your partner, as your husband, as your boyfriend, and what that physically and energetically feels like. So eastwestinterviews.com, and we'll post the link, or Matt or Jacqueline can. Eastwestinterviews.com is how you actually sign up for that. And by tomorrow, I'll send you a link which will have the replay of the first call in it, and you'll get that right away.
And it was so good, by the way. So good. I see it in the comments of some of my videos, everyone like raving about it and saying the first call was already so life-changing.
Yes.
So it was amazing. I watched it twice. I was obsessed with it. Are we at?
Okay. So unconditional love, do you have anything to say on that?
Yeah. I mean, so many of these all start with you, right? We always say that a man cannot love you any more than you love yourself. You can only go so far with a man in terms of emotional intimacy as you've gone with yourself. So like so many of the principles and tools that we teach, it all starts with you. We think sometimes we can think that we have to show a guy like, oh, I love you and I accept you. And those are all great things to say to a man. But until a man sees that you accept yourself, that you have unconditional love for yourself, he's never truly going to believe that you accept him on a very kind of deep, sometimes subconscious level. I've found. Anya, what do you think about that?
Yeah, well, I wanted to give an example, like with what Matt's saying specifically. It's an honor as a man to watch. I know you already said this, but it's an honor as a man to watch his woman receive their gifts, and basically it's an honor as a man to watch when a woman receives his gifts and actions, because that's his truest expression of love. So Matt's been a big part of my life. He's a really important person to me, and he's held a lot of space. And I've literally asked him and told him, like, you hold so much space. Like I can literally do anything in your presence and I feel safe. I can be so wild in my emotions and you actually hold a safe place. And I just really appreciate that. And one time he literally said to me, he's like, it's an honor. It's an honor to see you. It's really an honor to see you go into these darker places and to like express your heart at these deep levels and to see your insecurities and your vulnerabilities. It's like really, it's truly an honor to be a person in your life who can hold that space for you. So I want every woman in the whole wide world to hear those words from a man because that's possible. Yeah. But it comes from when you start being unapologetic about who you are. And who you are is, you are a goddess. Like Jacqueline's calling us goddesses. She's definitely a goddess. Everybody here is a goddess because, and when you understand what that really means, which is all the videos that we've been doing, you realize what a gift you are. I keep saying that, but you realize that there's nothing to apologize for. And you stop suppressing yourself and you realize that it's actually an honor for any person to come into your life, whether it be a best friend or a lover, to witness you for who you authentically and vulnerably are at a raw level. So true.
Yeah, so true. The fully surrendered woman sets us free. Yes, polarity, gotta have that. So true. So true. I love all of that.
Yeah.
So that brings us to number 7. Oh, I did want to say, it's one thing to like have this knowledge. It's another thing to kind of get it down into every cell of your body. I always say that's like the life experience that really teaches that. It's not just the words themselves, even though we have a lot of words to share with you. So, but Anya's training, what I'm saying is sign up for Anya's training because you're going to actually feel what it feels like in your body on a very like visceral level. And that's what kind of like supercharges this whole thing. So I hope I said that right.
Totally. Like I get all these emails from women saying they didn't hear from this guy for months. And then all of a sudden he's like back in their life and like showing up in a way they've never experienced before. And that's how we do call it inspiring a man's masculine potential, because when you learn how to do this, you become the woman that he never wants to leave. Because he experiences his power around you, most likely he hasn't experienced a woman who is holding the bar so high that if he doesn't rise up to his power, to his potential around her, then he doesn't get to experience her.
Oh yeah.
And a man wants to experience his power. And so it's not, we're not doing this because we're saying you're not as good as me. We're saying this because we know that we can no longer sacrifice. We can no longer settle. We expect to be supported, loved unconditionally for all of who we are. And that because of that, because we're allowing ourselves to be free and wild and feminine, we actually give the man the opportunity to step up into his strength. And when he experiences himself doing that, then that's when he's like, I love this woman forever, literally forever, whether this works out or not. Like I will always love this woman because she showed me what's possible within myself by holding the expectations high and not really allowing not allowing me access to her unless I rise to the occasion. And I think that's a cool.
That's totally it in a nutshell. Like that is it right there. I would just rewind that part, watch it like 5 times. Like that was so powerful. Amazing. And step 7, and Anya wanted me to like talk more in this. My voice is going like I'm totally losing my voice. So step 7, rewiring your thoughts. Something we haven't talked very much about before, but we have so much to say on it. Valuing yourself, knowing your worth, and rewiring your thoughts. What do you have to say about that? Just right off the bat.
Okay. Matt, somebody's asking, what do you mean by a fully surrendered woman? That's a super interesting question. So we can maybe come back to that for a second.
Yeah.
Rewiring your thoughts. So every time you're watching these videos, you're rewiring your thoughts because we've been told and brainwashed with a certain viewpoint of our power and our worth as women, that it resides in our body, it resides in our external beauty. We haven't learned that our value is actually in our energy. It's in our essence. It's in our soul. And so we've also been conditioned to basically stay in fear and self-doubt. And social media does this. Media in general does this. It continues to circulate these fear patterns within us that keep us trapped and locked to, we could call it the ego or your lower self, where negative conditioning can happen. And this is a little bit kind of out there, but so when we're saying rewiring your thoughts, we're basically saying that, like, should we use the example of the food?
I was just, oh my, you like literally read my mind. I think it's so powerful. It might sound a little off point, but just listen to what, so we were at, was this last night?
Yeah,
last night we were at a restaurant. We had this amazing meal, like
pizza,
bread, like lots of carbs, and we were like super full afterwards.
Yeah.
So, like uncomfortable, almost uncomfortably full. We had this event to go to, so we were walking into the hotel, and we're just, you know that feeling when you just eat this huge meal. I don't know why this is why I'm so distracted by this thing.
Yeah.
My tendency, or most people's tendency, would go right to beating yourself up. Like, oh my God, why did I eat so much? Like, you guys have probably all been there, right? So Anya, just like something just came out of her mouth and it totally blew my mind, and I will never say it as good as she will. So if you want to explain it.
So I literally had like 3 pieces of pizza, and then they have these bread rolls there that are
so good.
The yummiest thing, and they come out like in the cast iron thingy. And so there's hot bread rolls, and I had pizza and then like this pita dip and the bread rolls. And I had like 3 of these bread rolls plus the pizzas. So, okay. So, I that's so distracting.
So distracting. We love your comments though, you guys. It's so amazing to see everything. Yeah.
That's amazing. So I ate too much bread. Like I had a lot of bread, and I was feeling so sick to my stomach. But this is what I've done, because I used to have a lot of body image stuff. Like I would binge eat, like especially in college, I was binge eating almost every night, like handfuls of dry cereal and stealing my roommate's peanut butter from their fridge. And I was, in high school, even I was exercising like 3 hours a day because I had put my value in my body. I didn't think I was beautiful. And so I decided I need to have a perfect body to make up for my lack of beauty. And so I was pretty obsessed in not a healthy way. So I had to really, and then I realized like the root of that, there was an even deeper layer to that. And that's why, doing like meditation and yoga and all this stuff, it really helps to get underneath the surface of like, what are my wounds? And when I heal myself, then I can live to my highest potential. So I had to learn how to brainwash myself basically and rewire my thoughts around my relationship with food. So I was walking into the hotel room and I was like, all right, I'm telling you what's going on in my brain right now, because my stomach really, it's way too full. But what I'm telling myself right now is it's okay. Like it's going to go away. This isn't going to last forever. It's not going to affect my health. It's not going to affect my weight. It's not going to have it's not a big deal that I did that right now. So it's about taking the charge out of the situation. It's going to go away. It's okay. It's really okay.
Yeah. In 20 minutes, I'm going to feel back to normal. This isn't going to last forever. Right.
Yeah. And then to take it to the next level, I turned it positive and I said, all right, like, obviously my body wanted that. Like it wanted to feel heavy. It wanted to feel grounded. It wanted to feel full of goodness and sweetness and yumminess. Like it is fall after all. And fall is when the seasons change and it's a little bit cooler. And so I'm going to like still be in the enjoyment of that experience. Like I'm going to enjoy the fact that my belly feels so full, because that's nourishing and grounding and it feels good. Like that bread filled me up in a yummy way and I made it into a positive thing. So when we bring this back to a relationship, how many times have you beat yourself up over a guy, and thinking that you've done something wrong, or I hear that all the time.
I pushed him away. I made a mistake. I mean, we've all been there. We hear it all the time, right?
Exactly. And what if you just rewired it to, okay, if that man's not reaching out to me, it's not meant to be. And he's not seeing me. Like it's not about me. It doesn't have anything to do with me and my worth. It is a reflection of him, and I don't need to prove myself. Like if he wants to lean in, awesome. He can show up here with me, because I expect somebody who's going to consistently show up and consistently reach out and consistently text me. That's what I want and need to feel safe. So it's really about rewiring your thoughts to know how worthy you are of what you want. And if your external relationship is not a reflection of what you want, it's not making you feel safe, then it's really easy to be like, okay, peace out. Like, I don't need that person in my life, because if I let go of that person, then I will actually create space for a guy who really will show up for me in the way that I want.
It's trusting that, knowing your value, not letting your own value or self-worth fluctuate based on what a man is doing or not doing. Like, we just see that happen so often. A man shows up and he's giving you affection and love and his attention, and it feels incredible. And then when he stops doing that for a second, it feels terrible. And it's like this constant like fluctuation of your own self-worth. A lot of times we don't even realize that's happening, but it is. So it's so important. And it all has to do with rewiring your thoughts. Just like, I feel like we should do so many more videos on that, because it's so powerful, and it's energetic. Yes.
Yeah, we can totally do that.
Yeah, the right men will rise to the occasion. It won't even necessarily be conscious. Oh my gosh, that is so true. Jessica said you need to hear that. Wow, thank you so much. Yeah, isn't that like so life-changing, so amazing? And we could just use it in any situation, really rewiring your thoughts. And that is what Anya's level 2 activation does, right?
Yeah.
Right?
It is. It is a complete, I call it imprints, because our soul has imprints. Our brain, the wiring of our brain is like an imprint. And those imprints basically determine our life experience. If we go in there and change the imprint or change the hardwiring, then we can have a different projection of our life will be different based on what we're projecting from the inside out. So good. I'm glad that resonated with a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely.
So like the level 2 training is, my goal for the world is for women to elevate and men to elevate, so that we can have these high level relationships, to see each other's souls, literally like communicate, correspond, have intimacy and sex at this soul level, because it's so much more powerful than just the superficial level. I want women to feel honored and seen for their true beauty, because that's what we desire. That's what we crave.
Yeah.
And that's what we deserve. Like, that's truly why the feminine energy is created to be seen. It's so beautiful. Like the Mother Earth is so beautiful. I also want men to realize the power of, like, this is what we want. We want men to realize the power of when they step up into their integrity and their honor and their dignity, that when they embody that energy, that's their greatest gift to the world. And that's when they can experience, really being seen actually for who they are. So I don't know why I went there.
Yeah, I mean, it actually ties right back into the whole topic of that, right? Inspiring, activating a man's masculine potential. So if you guys enjoyed this, if this resonated with you at all, it sounds like it did for pretty much everybody. Yeah. Elevate each other. Wonderful goal. Yeah, absolutely. Sign up for Anya's level 2 training. You get the first call for free. It was so powerful and life-changing for so many women. That's at eastwestinterviews.com. And anything else before we close out?
What I was saying is that when we rewire ourselves, like the level 2 training is all about rewiring what you believe is possible in relationship. And when you know what's possible in relationship, then you will attract that. But if you don't know what's possible, then you kind of keep attracting the same experiences. So our goal is to elevate what's possible for you by helping you recognize that that's your truth. Like, that's your truth. And if it doesn't feel good, if your life doesn't feel fully amazing, then there's still more for you to understand about your value. And once you do, then everything can shift to be a reflection of that.
So true. I mean, we just see it happen over and over. It's like really like blows our minds. I mean, we know that this is like how it works, but just like hearing the stories of the women that we work with, and specifically who like went to the level 1 training. It's just been so powerful. And I feel like we should just kind of wrap up there so we can post the replay. Sorry, I have no voice today. I've never done a video with this little of a voice. Yeah. So your
value is pretty much the word to take away from today. It's
interesting. Yeah.
Brooke says, you're so right. I feel like I'm the only one who recognizes my faults and who is giving myself the blessing to learn how to tap into my feminine energy when I'm fully understanding of this. Yeah. And I love it. And like doing that self work, like being willing to dive in and look at your own limitations and wounds and be willing to shift them.
Yeah.
Feel good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a whole nother video. So we hope that we're like giving you a whole new way of looking at some of these really important concepts, because that's what we love to do. So we hope you enjoyed this. If you enjoyed it, feel free to type that into the comments section. If you're watching the replay, we love hearing from you. I'll go ahead and publish the link for Anya's training, eastwestinterviews.com. Thank you so much. We love you guys, and hopefully we can do this again soon. Then thank you, Anya. Thank you for kind of like taking this over while I'm totally losing my voice. But yeah,
thank
this
you
is
guys
amazing.
So much. We really love everybody who shows up for these. It's become like a really amazing community of people.
Yeah, it's so much fun. And we're just like, sometimes we don't want to end because we just like keep watching the comments come up. So yeah, you're welcome, everybody. It's so sweet.
We're gonna get our nails done.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna get going. So okay, all right. We love you guys. Have a great night, and we will talk to you again soon.